Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Soviet Tier 10 free XP tank, the OBJ 907. Now this is a tank that when it first came out wasn't all that good, to be perfectly honest. When they brought it across they nerfed the DPM substantially and it just didn't feel like you could do anything. Like usually the games were over by the time you were hitting what you'd be counting as a good or a decent game for normal tier 10 medium tanks. But since 5.0, since they did the tank rebalancers, this was one of the ones that got some love. Randomly, the K91 that had similar DPM and the same gun didn't get love. Don't know why. Reasons. But the 907 did, which it really did need. And it actually made it a very nice medium tank to play now. It's not on the level of like the 140 or the T62A in terms of its DPM, but it's a lot more usable now. Its gun is good, it's got a reasonable reload now. Obviously it's got Russian alpha, but its armor's also good because its armor's quite troll. Like as we bounce the Vanguard with his APCR around them. So, on the whole, especially with the mobility and stuff like that, it's actually not too bad anymore. And I've actually been enjoying it a lot more than I had before. And I'm not the biggest fan of Russian 100mm medium tanks. Like, I don't play them all that often. But this is one I have been enjoying. And even when it was rubbish, I kind of enjoyed it just because it was rubbish. And I'd rather play that over something like the 140 or T62A because I'm weird. So I have been playing it quite a bit, and then since they've buffed it, especially now, you can feel the difference. So in this replay, which I've got two of, I'm in a platoon with Crow and Swindle, and when it's on this new map, Sunset Coast, which I will never stop reiterating how terrible this map is. It's just a worse airfield. It's not fun, and we're still fighting in this middle area. And this middle area is not a good place to be. As a whole on the map, overall, from what I've played of it, this is not a place you want to be generally, because there's just too many lanes you can get shot from. Like you can see here, if there's people up where I was just looking, they can shoot you. If there's people where that Death Star is, they can shoot you. These guys can YOLO you round the corner. It's not brilliant. I say, and even positions where you could possibly think about getting shots down sight lines, there's just random rocks that block anything that you wanted to do. So it's just, I don't know. I don't like it as a map. I know there's a lot of people that are exactly the same. I'd rather play airfield. This map is not that fun to play. So we are in the middle, and we've managed to shut down, or help to shut down, say, the KV-4 and the Chisel. And we're now moving in to the guys that are attacking our base. We're going to get a nice shot into this Conqueror, and we're thinking we need to shut him down before we can progress on the guys on a hill. But then we get shot by an E4. Now, we got fairly lucky that he didn't pen us, but that is exactly what I'm on about with this middle area. That E4 is near their base, but he can shoot me all the way over here because of just randomness of this map. It's why it's really annoying to play. So again, we're still getting shot in the butt, but that's because the light tanks come behind us, and we're like, you know what, you can bugger off, get a good shot into him, and we're going to try and finish him off. And there we go, it's screwed up. We've got a dead gunner because of this M103, and then we shut him down. And just like that, we've got 2 kills quickly, and we're now going for this FE215B. We want the top gun. We're going to see if we can shut him down to get it. Swindle and the other TD are currently stuck with the other guy. We missed that first shot, then we shut that guy down. Actually, I think it was Crow that was struggling with that other enemy tank. And there's only 2 tanks left, and they both get shut down. Now there's just artillery, and where's artillery going to be? In the closest place to the water, obviously. So we're just going to shut that. He's going to get shut down by our team, and we're just going to run away to the end screen in a minute. But I just don't like this map. And in terms of the 907, this was a good indicator of what it can do nowadays. You know, it can bounce good shots. It's not got the most perfect armour. It's got decent turret armour. The gun performs lovely. And just like that, we've got an ace tanker, steel wall, top gun, 4.7k damage, 2.2k block, 1600 assisted. And yeah, this tank is a hell of a lot better than it used to be. And beforehand, when people would say, oh, what 450,000k free XP tank should I get? And before, it would have been like, oh, you know, the VK7201K is good. Well, it's a lot of fun anyway, because it's a big, heavy-hitting tank. It's just like an E100 that's, you know, pretty well armoured. Then there's a 260, which is basically a medium tank. It says it is a heavy tank, but it's basically a medium the way it plays, and it's very good. It's a very enjoyable tank. It's probably pretty underrated. The M60 is one of the better ones to get. It's just like the M48 pattern, but instead of having armour, it's a lot quicker, and the gun is better from stationary. And it's really nice. And the 907 was one that you'd say, no, don't waste your time. Just don't waste your time. If you want a Russian medium tank, get the T628 or the 140. But now, yeah, it's one of those that I'd say you probably, if you like the Russian mediums, it's a good one to get. Obviously, now with the release of the WZ111QL, that is definitely the tank that you want to get. As a free XP tank, that is the one you want. It may look ugly, but that tank is insanely good. And that is the tank you want. But this is a good front runner now. Well, I wouldn't say front runner, but it's a good choice now. It's a good solid choice. It's not avoid it, don't waste your money, don't waste your free XP, you know. It's pretty good to get now. So here we are on proc, and we're in the same place, you know, the same position that I am pretty much always in when I go to proc, and that's this little ridge line. Now, why do I always come here? Because I can work it pretty much. I can move between the 6 line and the 2 line, and you can move between those points and get good shots everywhere. If you get too many people staring at you, like in this position that I'm in now, you can decide, you know what, I'm getting too much hassle here, I'm going to go and move across. So we were getting a bit unlucky with some of the shots on that machine, but he got away, and we're showing the sad Tiger 2 armour of going through the upper plate with our standard rounds. Now, I usually wouldn't sit on this ridge line in a tank like the 907 where it's only got like 5 degrees of gun depression all the time. But what I'm trying to do is, I know there's a T30 where that mouse is, obviously there's the mouse as well, and I'm trying to keep this rock between me and them. So when I'm popping over to shoot the King Tiger or trying to shoot the machine, I was always keeping this rock on my right hand side so that I didn't get shot by them. Now, we get shot with a few shots there for trying to shut down the King Tiger. We got unlucky that we bounced off his turret cheeks, because again, it's only like 180mm or something. It might even be less than that on the Tiger 2's turret face, and we've got like 268 penetration. We're always going to go through that. So we got unlucky that we didn't pen it. So we're up to 3k, and we're still working this ridge line. But the shots we're getting are getting a little bit thinner now, but then we've got new customers like this 60 TP. Can't quite get the gun depression. That's the problem with having the 5 degrees on this ridge line, which means you have to expose yourself quite a lot. And like I say, again, we're tucking into this rock, so we're limiting the shots that, say, that T30 from the back have. And he's the big limiter at the minute. He's the one that's always in the back of the mind when you're coming up on this ridge line, that you're going to take a big smack from the back. And you don't want that, because obviously that's your health. But these guys keep popping up, and always shut down the light tank on proc. Always, always, always. We had a good shot at the 430U, but it was the best chance to get another gun out of the game and get a spotter out. So that King Tiger popped up to take a shot at us and missed. Fortunately, we also got shot at by, I think, the machine from the back, and he missed. Got unlucky with the shot that we had a minute ago on the T30, but we're going to make sure that flies in. And we, like I said, he's in the back of my mind the entire time he's down there. that I'm going to take a big hit, and I want him gone, so I'm making sure that we're shutting him down. I don't care that I've taken that hit from the 430U. That T30 was the problem, and we've managed to get rid of him, so that we're not going to take a big 750 slap. So now that I know he's gone, and we've got a light tank down there now, I know I can poke this ridge line and sit on it a lot safer than I could before. This 430U really doesn't like us. We're out of APCR rounds now. We're down to heat only, which is good and bad, because obviously that means we can pen a lot more shots in probably awkward plates that we couldn't before. But also bad because we're going to shoot, you know, there's quite likely we're going to shoot someone in the side, and the heat's going to get absorbed because heat. But this 60 TP is presenting himself to us, luckily for us, so we get some nice shots into his lower plate. Now 60 TP is an awkward customer for APCR as well, just because of the angling on its hull. Sometimes if you're shooting at its lower plate, it just ricochets. It shouldn't do sometimes. Well, the lower plate's about 230 effective, something like that. So you should pretty much always pen, but you don't. That's pretty much the way it is. So that 60 TP's gone. That heat round ricochets off of the turret of the T95E6, and we see there's that FV4005. And I started to load HE because I thought, you know what, I want to put one through his turret. But then I switched back to heat, because I thought, wait, what happens if I come against something down here and I spot it? But I don't, as I'm coming down here, so I decided to reload the HE. Well, I realised that everything else has been spotted. So I use this little gap in the train tracks to pop up so we can shoot this guy in his turret for 437. So we're hitting him almost at the same damage rate that we would if we were 120mm gun. And we rolled for 423 as well, and unfortunately we don't get to shut him down, but he gets shut down. And that's where it's nice to have the HE rounds for stuff like the waffles, stuff like the FV4005. It's easy to pen, and you get nice damage rolls like that. We're up to 6k damage, and there's only 4 tanks left. And they're all in this dip. There's that TD there, there's that Patriot, but I'm pretty confident that Patriot's going to get done. The machine's in the dip, so we're going to pop a nice shot into him. 363, some good rolls going off. We're at 6.2. That machine gets absolutely blapped, but I don't know if he got Amarax by the Super Conqueror or something else hit him at the same time. But we're now going to try and finish off this T95E6. It doesn't matter about his turret front, because we've only got HE left. And we're on to 5 kills. And unfortunately, the Fortress gets shut down, so there's no chance of a top gun. But that was a really nice game for the 907 on proc, which is always a good map for medium tanks or light tanks. But it was a very nice game to showcase again what this tank's more like now since it's had the buff. So that's a high caliber, ace tanker, 6,700 damage, 5 kills, 1,200 assistance. We made 15,000 because we did miss. Well, we didn't pen quite a lot. If you pen your shots more, you make more credits. So 35 shots fired, 28 hits, 21 pens. It's not bad. And we were firing quite a lot of snapshots as well at the time. There's quite a lot of people in front of us too. So that was a nice game in the 907. I hope you enjoyed it, everybody. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.